My name is Randy Person. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Knightdale, North Carolina, by way of Raleigh, North Carolina. I go to North Carolina Central University. I'm a junior political science major. Also, I'm double majoring with history. And my zodiac sign is Capricorn.
Ooh. Okay, so you go to Central. What year are you?
I'm a junior.
Do you like Central?
I love it. It was a good place for me. You know, it was easy for me to find my way into what I really want to do with my life at Central. So it was a good place for me after high school.
What activities do you do at Central, or what, or just a student?
Yeah, I'm more than just a student. I believe I believe that what I do is I try to just basically use Central as a networking tool. Aside from also education, I pretty much only partner with my program, Centennial Scholars program, which is the program that brought me into Central on a scholarship for a summer bridge program after my senior year in high school. So yeah, I pretty much only partner with their program, but I've done things with SOB and 100 Black Men a couple of times, but really it's just been CSP. The university gave 3 scholarships to Central students, and I was one of the guys that applied. But really how I got in was when I first got into Central, I just went and I met a lot of people, a lot of the deans, a lot of doctors in different departments, and I talked to them and introduced myself to them. And the dean over international affairs at the time was Dr. Rissa Jaffer, and he sent me an email. Well, he forwarded the email about the Ghana project to me, and he encouraged me to apply, and I did, and ended up getting accepted.
How was that, getting accepted?
It was scary at first, because honestly, when I first applied, it was like I told my mom that I'm applying to go to Ghana, but she really didn't believe that I was really, gonna make it or whatever. But once I got the acceptance letter, I think it was like February, and I told my mom, and she was like, "Are you sure you still want to go?" And I'm like, I already got accepted now. Like, it's nothing else to do, besides just get prepared. And it was an awesome feeling at that time, just because prior to that, I always really wanted to go. My dad was big on, our African heritage and trying to instill that in me to value that. And when he passed when I was 13, that was one thing I said I wanted to do, was to go to Ghana for me and him. And, just get to experience that lifestyle. And we'll go to Africa, but I ended up going to Ghana.
So how did you prepare to go to Ghana?
I tried to prepare by talking to as many people as possible, but a lot of people didn't really know. So it was really difficult to prepare. I really found myself just, just winging it, honestly, like just, trying to get as much family to, help me out with some money to just go over there with, to buy, anything, like to bring things back, or just to go over there and be able to experience everything. So I really didn't know, as far as money, what I would need. So I really wanted to contact my family as far as, helping me out with that possibly. But anything else, I really didn't know who to go to for, guidance on, what was I really about to get myself into.
Describe your trip in one word or one sentence.
My trip, in one word.
Or a sentence.
My trip in one sentence. Going to Ghana for the first time was an enlightening, empowering, and a life-changing experience. It set me forth towards my goals of wanting to really achieve change in our communities in America. Just from seeing people of color live civilized to the point where, like, I felt like they didn't have as much material things, but the simple things of life, like love and friendliness and trust, they had it. And it's like, how are we able to have all these material things but not able to achieve the smaller things in life? So that's one of the things that really empowered me to want to try to achieve some of those things in our community.
So what was the best thing about going to Ghana?
Experiencing the people. Like, I've never felt so at home in my life, honestly. Even here, I've never felt like just comfort, being somewhere at that point where I feel like I could just walk out and do anything, talk to anybody, and make any type of relationship with somebody, and it be sincere. I've never felt that type of feeling before, so that was one of the greatest things I felt while in Ghana.
What was the worst thing about going?
Experiencing the slave force. It was astonishing to understand that this is slavery. That was slavery. Like, that was the beginning of chattel slavery. That was the beginning of, that was the precursor to us becoming slaves on American soil. Like, this was our route. That was our passageway. And to see how it developed from, just castles of European settlers who wanted to, expand, religion, to them actually, taking African bodies and trafficking them. While, that was something they learned from the African people, they manipulated that system. And it just it went rampage. And, just to look at where we're at now and to really say that was the beginning and to experience it, that was one of the worst.
What's something that us African Americans over here wouldn't know anything about Africa or Ghana? Like something you wouldn't know that unless you were there.
They go through the same thing we go through. My tour guide didn't know of the slave trade in Ghana or in Africa or the slave force until she was 20 years old. There's people in America who grow up today and don't understand what the COINTELPRO is, which is a document that was drawn up by the government that says the rise of a black messiah must be diminished. That's a federal document. We don't know about our own oppression. They don't know about their own oppression.
What club did you go to?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you two stories. The first one is it's a joke, but it's also an ironic fact at the same time. We went to, gosh, I can't remember the club's name, but we went to some club. We went with Weston's homestay family. And in Ghana, we had to stay with a homestay for like a week or two, I think a week and a half. And his family was a great family. They actually owned the local fabric store. And they, this is a big company. They ship products out all across the world. But real open family. And one of his brothers said, we want to take you guys out tonight. We went out. Okay, cool. We're gonna go out. So we went out to some club, and we were paying attention. Things looked real weird. Like, we went outside and it was just women lined up like all down the street. We're sitting in like lawn chairs, and so we're like, yo, it's a parade. Like, what is going on? And so they were like, nah, it's ladies' night. So I'm thinking like, okay, ladies' night. Okay, cool. So we get in the club, and the club is it's wild. Like, in America, for us, young men, young black men, if we're in the club and we're like, chilling, that's cool. In Ghana, if you're chilling, get out. You're lame, get out. Really, like, you have to dance. They do a lot of reggae. So it's like the dudes, if you ain't, the girls not even gonna dance with you. So it was like a shell breaker for me. Like, I had to get out and, to really have fun. I had to really have fun. Mm-hmm. So we were just, having a good time, so they bought us drinks. We were having a good time. And I started to step back and just peep because I was, a little tired. So I was peeping. And it was these girls who were just really like all on Weston and this other guy. I'm like, oh, like, why are they so like on him? Like, what is going on? And I'm just looking around, and I walk over to the bar, and then, I saw another crazy encounter between another woman and a man. I'm like, what is going on? You feel me? And so I walk over to the guy that took us, and I'm like, yo, man, this looks a little crazy in here, man. Like, what's going on? He said, nah, nothing. Just have fun. So I start having fun again, and then it's time for us to leave. And it's time for us to leave, and a guy comes out with those same two girls that were on Weston and the other guy. And he's like, here, where are you going? They're with you guys. Like, where are you going? I'm like, with us? They coming with us? For real? Like, y'all serious? And he's like, yeah. And then, but the guys that we came with, they're like, no, we're okay. Like, we're okay. And so he's like, no, man, I insist, here. Like, no, we're good. So they're laughing, but they really had to, like, get this guy away from us. So we walk back to the car, and I'm still like, yo, something's going on. So we get to the car, and we get in the car, I'm like, man, yo, what's going on here, man? He's like, it's nothing, it's ladies' night. And so I'm like, ladies' night? okay, but like, why? Like, what was going on? Why are these women outside lying on the street? He's like, they're prostitutes. I said, whoa, hold up. And so I'm looking like, so we're dancing with the girls? Like, seriously? He was like, yeah, and they had a big joke out of it. But that was like an ironic fact because it's like, I didn't know, but there's a high prostitution rate in Ghana of, you know, women selling their bodies, doing these types of things, but I didn't know. That was something I wasn't even expecting, you know, and then to go in the club and it be most of the ladies' night, and, you know, like, I was like, what? I knew it, though, you know, but it was just, you know, it's ironic to see that because it's something that we deal with here with our women, like, you know, having to them understand how to, you know, respect their bodies and things like that, but that's something I felt in Ghana. It was there. You know, like, the women were way more respectful. But to see that, you know, and I'm not to say that, you know, it's not a respectful thing. I don't want to jump into that type of debate. But it was just, you know, it was something that I felt like they're not dealing with nothing different than we're dealing with. Mm-hmm. You know? Now, it may be at a different rate because it's a totally different place. But they're not dealing with anything different. And a lot of times we as African-American people will say, we don't know anything about African people. You know, like, I'm African-American. African, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're African. So, you know, that was a little weird. But then the next experience was crazy. When the club Harleewood, and this club was lit. Like, I'm talking about, as soon as we walked in, it was bumping. You feel me? And I'm looking around, like, making sure there wasn't no ladies' night type thing going on. But it was like, but it was crazy because it was like we walked in and we met students from another American project. Where they came over. So it's two groups of American students in one place full of Ghanaian people. So we're like in the same group. We're just, you know what I'm saying, jamming. But then they're playing American music. So they're playing American music, but the Ghanaians know every word. Rick Ross comes on, I'm a boss. Every word. And so, like, it was just crazy. And then it was this guy, you know, I got a picture of him on my blog. And, you know, he was like, brother, you drink Henny? It's like, yeah, I drink Henny. He said, yeah. I said, you know, I was like, turn up. But it was crazy because it was like, yo, I'm like, man, I'm in the club in Ghana right now. You feel me? Like, I'm not expecting to go through any of this, you know, and just to see it and to experience it, I'm like, man.
How was the homestay? Where did you stay at?
In the homestay, I stayed with a lady named Mumsy. The homestay, one thing that we learned about was the servitude, and that was kind of crazy because we were learning about it at the same time we were experiencing it. And so, in Ghana, servitude, slavery, or I mean, it's different. It's not as different, but slavery and servitude are two terms they use a lot. But well, the servitude has been going on in Ghana for centuries. You know,
it still goes on.
Yeah, and that's what I was learning about. But the thing is, the book was called Silence in the Past. You know, and it was basically talking about how they sequestered the truth about slavery in Ghana and how they still do today. And it wasn't, you know, it shows that, you know, that slavery in Ghana was really based on family ties and you having to work for that piece of life that you need, you know, like the money, the clothes, the food. If you couldn't get it on your own, somebody will allow you to work and get that. Nobody's, you know, in Ghana it was like the sense of accountability for everybody. That's one thing that we learned was the basis of some of those things. But, you know, one of the things that I saw, that I found out were actually one of the negative things was how you can't come up out of that place in family. If you were brought into the family as a servant, you will forever, and your kids will forever. So it's like a never-ending cycle of no education, you know what I'm saying, no sense of wanting to be more, you know, because it's not possible. And that's one thing that it really shocked me because those were people I saw my age, you know. And he told me his story. Actually, the boy's name was Samuel. Samuel told me his story. He said, you know, when we were young, Mumsy came and took us in. You know, we didn't have anything. Our mom was, you know, sick and couldn't pay, so we had to come live with her. She gave us everything. But, you know, what I saw was he held his sister on. I didn't know his sister, didn't talk to his sister, but I just couldn't see the happiness. And I would see the happiness in everybody else in Ghana, but I wouldn't see the happiness amongst them. I would see him smile. I would see him, you know, doing his things, but he would be up before I went up, and I would be up every morning at like 7 going to school, and he'd be up every night after me. I would go to bed, you know, like 11 o'clock, and then I'd go back out to the club. But I mean, you know, that kind of shocked me. And then one day he had to wash my clothes. You know, I had to wash my clothes, and I told him I told Mumsy, I said I don't want him to wash my clothes, but I didn't know how. So I said I will allow him to teach me, but I won't allow him to wash my clothes. And she said I respect that, and she allowed me. Cause the thing is, I felt like I had to ask her. You know, I didn't want him to get in trouble for not doing what he was supposed to do, but I wouldn't allow it. So I told her that, and she said I respect that, and she allowed him to teach me. You know, I wasn't good at it. I couldn't get the stuff out, but you know, I say, man, teach me how to get that stain out. But after that, don't do it again. You know what I'm saying? Let me handle it. And you know, I had another guy in my home with me, and he was reluctant to wash his own clothes, but I wouldn't allow him to do it either. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't something I was gonna stand for. I said, you know, you could wash your own clothes. And then he ended up, you know, getting down there and washing his own clothes.
Where did you wash your clothes at?
Outside. We had to use a big thing of water. It's actually on my blog. I kind of put a picture layout, you know, of everything. But we used a bucket of water, and we had this powder soap. And the powder soap was so grainy that you could cut your skin. So I had cuts on my knuckles, and this was something he did every day. I really like going through it. I'm thinking like, this is insane. Like, there's no way he does this every day, and there's no way I'm gonna allow him to do it this time. You know, but it was crazy. You know, you had to really scrub the stuff. You had to get it in the water, scrub it. Then you had to dip it in another water bucket to get all the soap suds out of the shirt, then rinse, then drain all the water out. It was, it was a little tiring. You know, it's real, but I had to do it. It was nothing I would allow myself not to do. So.
What's up? I'm Randy Person, the creator of the Ghana 2014 project, a project that's going to be taking 17 young African Americans to Ghana to experience the entire country for 2 weeks. We're going to do things from traveling abroad to even studying abroad in the university, and also experiencing some regular day-to-day activities with some Ghanaian citizens. This project is destined for success and is destined to happen, but now we still need your support. For support, you can donate in 3 ways. You can donate online at our website, believersunitedforprogress.org/Ghana-2014. Also, you can donate directly to the project. You can contact me via email, theghana2014project@gmail.com. Just make sure in the subject you let me know that you're trying to do a donation for the project. And also, we're also taking donations of school supplies or any type of supply we can give to a Ghanaian citizen or one of the schools we're going to be sponsoring while out in Ghana for the project. Please remember that all donations are tax write-off. Just make sure that all checks, money orders, or any type of cashier's check is made out to the Believers United for Progress, which is the nonprofit which is sponsoring the Ghana 2014 project. Once again, my name is Randy Person, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Ghana 2014 project, and we need your support.